Little. You guys are you're 20 seconds behind me. I'm just trying to see if the audio is working. I also have a chat box filter so we can see. I had to make this. It's like transparent. And you can just see the chat. What's up, guys? I am streaming today from Pandora via satellite Starlink, thanks to Elon Musk. See, look. Let me figure this out. We can see the chat now. Kind of. If I go to like a white background, it should still show up a little bit. No, I'm not going to start with spoilers. I probably will talk about spoilers, though. I'll let you know. How's the audio, guys? I have some music playing. Should be quiet. Yeah, last time I had an audio screw up and it turned me into a boomer. 5 decibels. What's going on, everybody? Hi, Sherry. Hi, James Gunn. I hate you. I'm kidding. James Gum. Hi. I don't like James Gunn, though. He fired Henry Cavill. Hi, Michelle. Micheline. Eru Iluvitar. It's a very Elvish sounding name. What's going on? Damn it. Yeah, the transparency's probably shitty now. I don't know what the fuck. Oh, the chat. I'll fix this chat box by Thursday. I'll probably have to go download something on buy some kind of overlay package or something. What was I saying? Well, for example, I had this pulled up. Like this is you can read the chat there. This is a Jordan Peterson video. Well, I was going to watch this at some point today because he's talking about the something relating to Avatar, but yeah, we'll get to that. So I saw here's a question: who saw Avatar 2? Who saw the new Avatar movie? I tried to wait until Sunday to get people to who wanted to see it. If you didn't, that's okay, because we'll chat about like all kinds of different stuff. Also, I'm curious how many of you guys are in general like James Cameron fans, but like maybe some of you just don't like Avatar. But I'm a fan of James Cameron. We have some of the most impressive technology ever put on film or anything ever in this movie. And it's not just the same thing as the first one. I will put some rumors to bed today on that. Although I do need to do more research on the actual technology for another stream, like later this week maybe. And maybe I think I'm going to bring on another couple people who watch the movie and maybe we'll have a debate. Sometimes debates are fun. Other times just talking casually is fun, We had some fans in the chat. Micheline is a fan. I agree, it's breathtaking. Yeah. Chat overlay is a little iffy. Stream elements overlays. Yeah, I'll fix it. I'll figure it out. Like I don't need it there right now. See, I can remove it. Ethan says he's only seen 3 movies this year. That's kind of like I'm seeing that more often. I'm seeing people say that more often. And I'm wondering if it has something to do with maybe like the the fandom community is getting tired of like Hollywood, so they're just not even bothering anymore with stuff. There's good stuff this year. Obviously, everybody's seen Top Gun, but you know, like, well, theaters in general, man, it's hard to go anymore because everything's coming to streaming. So Sherry didn't care for it. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh, Irish Gaelic? I knew it. I knew it. I was close. Elvish, whatever. I was close. Oh, hey, flaccid. I almost said flaccid penis. I almost said it. Hi, flaccid phoenix. I'm gonna go on Flaccid Phoenix's stream tomorrow. I think we're doing an Avatar stream tomorrow with a panel. Dune the Batman Fight Club. Wait, what? Fight Club was not in what? So you saw Dune and the Batman in theaters. Wait a minute. Hold on. Am I crazy, or did Dune come out last year? Hold on a second. That's weird. I'm gonna look that up, actually. Yeah, I was saying this last time I was on stream, that this year has been so insane that I don't remember. So Dune came out in 2021, October 22nd, but honestly, I don't remember it being... Oh no, was it nominated? Hold on. Yes. Yep, Dune won 6 Oscars last year at the Academy Awards. So it doesn't count this for like watching a movie this year. There's a couple movies that came out last year that technically haven't been released until 2022. Like sometimes, you know, like a Swedish movie I saw called The Innocents came out in 2021 but didn't release in America until 2022. So, The Innocents is a really good horror movie though. It's Swedish or Norwegian. What was I gonna say? Yeah. JR, will he turn down that music? Who's JR? Yep, tomorrow. Can't wait to have you, dude. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's gonna be fun. So so I saw Avatar 2. Here's maybe a controversial statement, because the year's not over yet, but it's probably in my top 10 of the year. Honestly, it definitely overtook the Batman for me. The Batman was going into this week. I had the Batman ranked, I think in my top 10 it was like number 9, and then this one is, I like Avatar better than the Batman. I think the Batman has a better, well, that's actually wow. Yeah, this movie is very long and like stuff could have been cut out of it, but I also think the same about the Batman. So I think this is better, and I like the Batman. I think it's a unique take on the Batman that we really haven't seen. Christopher Nolan did his thing, you know what I mean? He had his very Nolan-centric Batman story, or style. And then we had, like, you know, some more stylish, goofy Batmans back in the day, you know. But I like the dark, gritty photography of the new one. Oh yeah. Let's see. It's a wrestling reference. The background music. Oh, the background music actually is too high. Okay, let me fix that. Um, hopefully that worked. So yeah, it's in my top 10. I don't know where exactly where it ranks. I think I don't want to pull my top 10 up right now because I haven't seen enough movies this year. Like I made a list. This is what I want. Okay. Before the you go to my Twitter. So my kind of like I said, before I make a top 10 list, I want to watch these movies. I want to watch The Whale. I want to watch The Fabelmans. Okay, so The Whale is Brendan Fraser. It's directed by Darren Aronofsky. Most people don't know this, but Darren Aronofsky did Black Swan, Requiem for a Dream. And then he did like Noah, that like random Noah adaptation that was actually really good. I liked it. But this is a much more different kind of movie. The Fabelmans is Spielberg. It's a story about his childhood. I know people are making fun of him for it, making a movie about his childhood. But everybody says it's great, and he has a very interesting childhood. He has a very interesting Hollywood story too. He like when he made Jaws, like he walked onto the set of I think Paramount and just like kind of blended in and like just basically like forced himself into Hollywood. Like it's a very I gotta go brush up on that part of Hollywood lore, but it's really interesting. Tar is Cate Blanchett. She plays a musician or a composer. She's probably going to win Best Actress for this performance. From what I hear, there's other people, but this is the Colin Farrell movie. The guys who did In Bruges, the same actors and the same director. In Bruges is an incredible movie. Avatar 2, I've seen it, so that's off my list. And then a couple others. I still have to see Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. I don't have a lot of time. And then this is the new Park Chan-wook film, the guy who did Old Boy, the Vengeance trilogy, Thirst. I've seen all of his movies. I have to watch this. This is another foreign movie. I just like the trailer for this one. And then Babylon, and then Babylon is the director from Whiplash, right? With Miles Teller, the guy from Top Gun, and then the J. Jonah Jameson actor. For some reason, I'm blanking on his name, but he's an amazing actor. Anyway, Whiplash is a great movie. Then he did La La Land with Ryan Gosling, and now he's directing a movie called Babylon. I want to watch it. And then All Quiet on the Western Front. Haven't seen it. Yes, I saw Barbarian. I saw a ton of other movies that basically just anything that's not on this list I probably watched. What are you asking? The Whale is the top 10 of the last decade? I hear it's creeping up. I hear people are crying, like bawling watching that movie. I'm avoiding any spoilers and like any stuff like that. Brendan Fraser apparently gives a hell of a performance. But no, I have not seen the original All Quiet on the Western Front. Nope. But currently Avatar 2 is in my top 10. I will say that. A couple other movies on there. I'll just say I really liked X, which is a horror movie throwback to like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre genre slasher movies. It's called X, and I really like the sequel or the prequel of that called Pearl. They were both made this year. I love those movies. I'm gonna have a stream one day, probably soon, just talking about those movies, because I'm trying to get more people to watch them. And then I am a big fan of The Northman, and I'm a big fan of Nope, Jordan Peele's Nope. And I might do a Nope stream because every time I talk about it, either people haven't seen it or they don't like it. And that's not true. A lot of people that I've talked to like it, but it kind of gets overshadowed, I think, by the people who haven't seen it, who think it's woke or whatever. It's a bunch of narratives around that movie that are just completely either misinformation or just just not true, not correct. And I think a lot of people were confused by the movie Nope. I think there's a couple scenes in the movie that didn't make sense to people in the first viewing, and that that's yeah, makes sense to me. I've seen it 3 times, and I think it's a brilliant movie. So let's go back to my house. This is my house, guys. I live in this hay basket house, and I fish, and I have a pet dolphin, and my shirt has Sam Worthington on it. Have I seen wait, hold on. Hey Lofty, I just want to say the mini blow up? Huh? With that panel discussing the Rings of Power with Anna Flash and Kilgore? Was oh, okay, hold on. I just want to say the mini blow up with the panel discussing Rings of Power with Anna, Yellow Flash, and Chris Gore, was cringe as fuck. You single-handedly carried the show from boredom. Oh, I thought you were trying to roast me. No one was saying anything before you said something. Even everything was like it sucked in 2 minutes of awkward silence. Well, I'm not gonna... Okay. Well, I appreciate that you understood where I was coming from. I'm not gonna rehash that because everybody has their own perspective on it. But it is true that if I wasn't involved in any of these conversations, there would be no representation of people who didn't hate the show. And I know there's people who didn't hate the show because got a lot of DMs. I got a lot of positive comments. Not a lot, but I did get a lot of DMs from people telling me to go, hey, I didn't like it. I mean, I liked the show and blah, 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 blah. But I think it was it's hard to debate something that's so polarizing or to talk about it because stuff like that, people see from completely different perspectives. And it's hard to pinpoint what people are looking at when they're watching these movies, how they're interpreting certain things. Avatar is not so polarizing. And Avatar is much better than Rings of Power. Yeah. Yeah, Blaine said not hating doesn't equal love or masterpiece. Exactly. And I did... To be fair, during that stream, I wasn't saying it was a masterpiece. I was actually criticizing some of it. But I did give the first 2 episodes an 8 out of 10. And part of that is because when you're reviewing an episode, you're also kind of projecting into the future of what you think where they're going with the story. So you might be I may have misinterpreted some of the signs that I was seeing. I thought they were going to set up some sort of twist, a couple different kinds of a twist with the Sauron story that is not what they actually did, and I thought they were going to present some sort of deeper, interesting twist with the elves and their link to Mithril. I thought that was a ploy that Sauron has been telling them this whole time to kind of manipulate them. But it turned out, so I actually initially I thought that was a cool kind of thing. I was like, oh, Sauron's already manipulating these people, right? That's why it's hard to you can't if you have to wait till the show's done to really give a breakdown of it. Anyone saying Rings of Power is good is likely a bot. I don't agree with that. I know people who liked it for dumb reasons, but yeah, not everyone's a shill, not everyone's a bot. I think they use you hate bait donos. Oh, total echo chamber at times. Well, like I said, Rings of Power. Oh, wait, hold on. At times, even though I agree with the most of their takes, and yes, Rings of Power sucks, but your take on her using swords wasn't so. Yeah. Galadriel most likely knew how to use a sword. She's thousands of years old. She probably could fucking destroy any gladiator that ever existed in like a real life. So that didn't bother me. I tried. That was part of the big debates that we had, and I think I got my point across pretty well. A lot of people were stubborn about it. That's fine. They just don't want it. They don't want that to be how she's depicted, and that's fine. But yeah, my biggest problems with the second half of the show was just everything that I thought they were doing fell apart. And the Sauron stuff, oh my god. He should have been manipulating. They should have had Sauron either manipulating the people in Numenor or in the on Middle Earth, the elves, and they should have taken it much slower. They rushed it. You know what I mean? It's just too much to talk about. A full breakdown maybe, but you don't need a whole show to know what was bad. Yeah, there were some bad things. I personally thought the cinematography was gorgeous in the first few episodes, but that's J.A. Bayona. And then he left after episode 2, and it kind of... You can tell that J.A. Bayona directed the first 2 episodes of that show. It's very obvious. Hey, would I have RGE on to discuss anime? Yes. Absolutely. I'll probably have an anime panel coming up shortly. And I'm going to do that editing panel as well, like a lot of people keep asking about. I actually have 24 weeks planned out of content so far. What did I think of House of Dragons? Oh boy. This is supposed to be an Avatar stream. We'll get to Avatar in a second. I'll just be quick about House of Dragons. Let's see. What was the question? Sorry, I'm looking at like 16 windows right now. What do you think of House of Dragons? I like it. I don't love it. I do not love that show. I think some of the episodes were incredibly slow and dull and repetitive, and they kept, especially the scenes where people just stare at each other with like awkward silences, and you're supposed to be like, so like, I think there was a funeral episode, and for about a good 8 minutes there was like no dialogue and people were just staring at each other, and I was like, what the fuck am I this is so boring. I like the acting parts of it. I hate the children with a passion, especially the eye patch kid. That guy, he doesn't even match the way he looks. He looks like... That actor is kind of like badass looking in a weird way. Like the older version of that kid with the eye patch. But he acts like a child. Okay, he acts immature. And now maybe that's how the book is written. But this guy can't let shit go. And to me, I don't think he's cool. I think he's an immature child. And I hate the character. I wish I liked the character, but... And then a couple other things. I love the CGI dragons. Amazing. Incredible dragon scenes, especially the giant dragon chasing the tiny one. Some of the best shit I've ever seen on television. I just kind of like the first season. I don't love it. I did not like the ending. I don't like how she just... This is what I'll say. I'll say this. The sexual tension. I'll say this. The ending when... Well, the names are escaping me, but the ending when the black dude's wife, who was supposed to be queen, decided for some unknown reason to just go on a terrorist attack rampage and kill a fuck ton of innocent people with a dragon and then start a war for no reason at all. That to me was so stupid. And it was never I mean, unless you're going to tell me there was some sort of explanation for why she did that, besides just running away and trying to take her dragon and escape. But she's a terrorist. She is a terrorist. And now they have a good reason to go to war because of her. She fucked up. So, I either that was supposed to be how the story, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it, and it annoyed me. I think they honestly think it sounds to me like they did it just to have a giant dragon break down like a big building and kill a bunch of people just for the shock, like the special effects. But did they consider the fact that I don't know. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. Wasn't in the books. Yeah, dude, I hear that some things weren't in the books and they changed a bunch of shit. And I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know. I think people were too busy hating on Rings of Power at the time to like really criticize that show. And people were, you know, a little bit too comfortable with like praising it. But I don't know. It's not nearly as good as Game of Thrones season 1. It's not even in the same category. It's not even in the same category. Sean Bean's arc is a fucking incredible arc in that show. But yeah, they give her a girl boss moment, I guess. But she killed a bunch of innocent people for no reason. Like, she's a horrible person. Anyway, I love dragon stuff. Have you ever seen Reign of Fire? Before we get into Avatar, because we're going to talk about CGI in a second. I don't want to go too long for this stream. I might stream for another hour and a half maybe. Hold on. I can't remember where this was. Let me do this for a second. Chad, have you ever seen Reign of Fire with Christian Bale? One of my favorite. I guess it could be considered a guilty pleasure. I don't know. I just think the movie's a classic. Like, it's like a classic Hollywood action movie. I'm trying to find a scene at the moment that I want to play from it. I mean, yeah, this one's pretty cool. Hold on. Let me mute my space hip-hop lo-fi music for a second. Reign is classic post-2000s founded at the video store movie. See, look, everybody it looks like everybody likes this movie. But like, okay, guys, this is 2002. This is 2002. Oops. This is 2002. Hold on, I'm trying to make myself smaller. Like, the CGI is actually pretty good in this movie. And this scene is cool. They're doing a Halo. They were supposed to be doing like this Halo dive.
Talk to me, Alex.
Matthew McConaughey. Look at Matthew McConaughey. He is a badass. Look at this. This is really cool. Look at this.
Do you have a reading?
And there's a lot of stakes. This movie has very high stakes. That's another reason why I think it's so good, is because actually people die. People die in this movie. And there's like, it's very hopeless. But that's what makes McConaughey's character so fucking badass. He doesn't give a fuck. Here comes the dragon. And they're trying to, like, if you guys don't know, they're trying to catch, I think they're trying to kill or catch the dragon with like a triangle formation of like, it's hard to describe. But I'm not going to play the whole thing. Let's see here. I want to play one scene because the acting is so effing good. It's so good.
Rebuilt the National Guard C-5A. Flew at 8,000 miles on 2 engines and tried to set it down on the old strip outside of Manchester. Lost 122 men and most of my fuel. We need shelter. A place to refit artillery. We'll be out of your hair by 1800 hours tomorrow.
Now, I don't know if I can get away with copyright, but wait, do they die when they are killed? Who? Dragons appear in Lofty's version of ninjas for the Venn diagram. Yeah, I love dragons. No, so Godzilla had a scene that basically kind of copied this scene, like the new Godzilla. Like, it's not really copying; it's a Halo jump. Like, you know, this isn't the first movie to do a Halo jump. Also, like Metal Gear Solid did Halo jump, and Metal Gear Solid 3 or whatever. But I just think Matthew McConaughey in this movie looks like. Watch this. Watch this. First off, let me
can do this easy.
Let me skip to the good part. Okay, watch this.
You ever seen one of these? Not many men have. Got out the first one I killed. The plane was better.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pull up an image. Wait, let me go back to McConaughey for a second.
It's not even original.
Okay. Watch this, guys. Watch this. Does anyone remember? Wait, I actually can't find a good quality version of this picture. I think I found one. Does anyone remember this guy? Do you guys remember the Techno Viking? I'll play the video after this, but McConaughey in this movie just reminds me of the Techno Viking. Especially his like persona and his presence. He's just like a fucking Chad. He's the Giga Chad before Giga Chad was even a thing. It's Techno Viking and then Matthew McConaughey from Reign of Fire. They invented the Giga Chad.
It was in the wheat fields just south of Coffeyville, Kansas.
He's just such a good actor, man.
It's late November. It's a month of mist.
Toxic masculinity. Basically, this movie was toxic masculinity. 100%. Just grown-ass men beating the fuck out of each other, trying to be more intimidating than the other person, saving the women and children. You know what I mean? It's a fucking good movie, guys.
There's nowhere to run. Twice it came in on us, and twice it missed the heart of us. And that's when I had an epiphany.
He had an epiphany. And then he talks about how the dragons can't see during the magic hour, which is like, I think between like dusk and at this some time of day. They can't really see too well. But this is the Techno Viking. Oh boy, I gotta turn this down. All right, first of all, this is this thing. This guy went viral. Like, like I don't even know how long. Before the internet was like a thing. This was like one of the first memes that I can even remember. It was this guy, and then it was a couple other, like the cat, the keyboard cat. Do you guys remember back in the day with like keyboard cat, Techno Viking, Bad Luck Brian? You remember this shit? Oh man. But this guy is a fucking look, somebody called him out. Somebody said something he didn't like, and watch him point. Look how intimidating that point is. He's telling the guy to fuck off. And then look, somebody hands him a bottle of water. And then I think he has like 100 people just following him around the city. Yeah, chocolate rain. Look at this guy. Okay, you know what? I just thought of something else. This guy is like Dr. Disrespect before, like, this guy is like the Chad, like an even more Chad version of Dr. Disrespect. Um, it's like something Doc would do. Just like, just not say anything at all. Just start walking down a street with a posse of people following you because you're a Chad, and just take his shirt off. He looks ripped. People just hand him stuff, and like it's like he's a cult leader or something. Um, somebody said I just watched Avatar 2. The effects were gorgeous as expected. Story was okay. Yep, we're about to talk about it. I'm afraid to play this with audio. I'm trying to monetize everything I do now. Like I just got super chats, I just got monetization. I'm sorry. I love watching this video. I just love this guy. So, anyway, that reminded me of Matthew McConaughey from Rain of Fire. Well, as far as Avatar 2 goes, I loved it. I loved it. I think the visual effects were incredible. I think the story was better than the first one. I think the I think I now I often don't like kid actors in movies. I think most of the time they suck. And I'm talking about like American Hollywood. For some reason in other countries, kid actors are absolutely amazing. Like South Korean movies and Japan, some of the acting is a little bit like over the top, and they try to, I don't know. But I'm saying like American kid actors, for some reason, their coaching or whatever they're told to do doesn't work, and a lot of the times it makes them feel like they're extremely exaggerated versions of like a very like a stereotypical child. And it's just like some things do it really well. I'm trying to like Stranger Things, they're okay. They're okay. It's not a huge fan of any of them really. Um uh I'm trying to say though that the kids in this movie were pretty good. They were pretty good. They were not annoying. There was definitely stereotypical things happening throughout the entire movie. If you're expecting to see a Hollywood movie without a very generic bullying sequence, just don't even bother. Like it's it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. So yes, they get bullied. in this movie. I mean, every single movie has bullying, really. It's something that Hollywood does way too much, I think, and they exaggerate it way too much. Even in this movie, a little bit exaggerated. Um, but it did present the story with some very very interesting cinematics like moments. Like even the bullying stuff led to some very intense scenes. Like there's I'm not gonna spoil anything at least for the next 30 minutes or so. But then if I do, I'll say that this is a spoiler or something. But um, let's see. Wasn't Sigourney Weaver playing a 14-year-old in the movie? What? Yeah, she was playing. I'm trying not to spoil it, but it's something to do with her previous avatar. Um, and yeah, it didn't really feel like Sigourney Weaver to me. It felt like kind of a new person. It's weird. I don't know. It's really weird. But anyway, yeah, there's some really cool stuff that happens with like the kids getting in trouble, and then it's like every time I went, "Oh, this is dumb." I've seen this a million times. Every single time I thought that in the movie, the next like scene like blew me away in terms of like the intensity of what was happening. And I was like, well, that kind of warranted some stereotypical like a preface to like a giant monster attack or something. Like it's um yeah, there's giant ocean creatures and stuff. Um but man, very entertaining. I'm drinking a coffee right now. Uh yeah, I'm trying to think of a movie with really good kid actors. I think oh boy. Like I said, all I can think of are foreign movies. Like the Let the Right One In, I think is one of the best. A lot of Swedish and German movie, like the television show Dark has really, really good kid actors, but they're German. Um, like I said, South Korea has some really good like child actors, but Hollywood for some reason it's almost like they don't. I don't know, man. I don't know what the culture is in Hollywood. It's probably fucked up, but like whatever it is, they're not doing any. They should just let them be kids and like let them act like how they would normally act or something. I don't know. It's just too corny and cliche all the time. And they make jokes they wouldn't make. Like kids in Hollywood make jokes like like a 35-year-old guy who is trying to write a joke for a kid or something. Like they don't actually make jokes that they would, you know what I mean? That a kid would come up with. But oh, thanks Roman King. Yeah. Maybe come back later and check out some of the takes and or tune in on if you see it this week, tune in on Thursday. I might have another stream with the panel. Hey, ANCAP gamer, what's up? Uh, let's see. Yeah, no, no. Uh, anyway, but yeah, I'm just. But the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're such a big part of the movie. But I will say this: the family values in this movie are incredible. I can't think of another movie that I felt well. I can think of definitely like movies like Gladiator where a character has a really strong connection to his family, or there's movies like that. But I'm saying it's been a long time, and this character Jake Sully is very different than the. If you didn't like the first one, I keep hearing people say this. Um, but like I keep hearing people say they didn't like the first one, so or if you didn't like the first one, don't see this one. I totally disagree. I don't know. I'd love to talk to somebody about that. But I'm saying Jake Sully's character is just this completely different character. If you didn't like his generic like soldier um like he was kind of a generic soldier in the first movie, and for some reason was became like this epic leader. And it was like, I don't know, the story in the first movie is just pushing you kind of in a direction that the story just kind of goes in this direction, and it's like it's not much depth. But if you, besides like caring about the environment and caring about, like, did anybody care at all about any of the characters besides the blue people in the first movie? Any of the human characters? No. Even the blue people. I like Zoe Salanda's character. I like. I mean, but she had, everyone's gonna like, a hot blue girl. Like, you know what I mean? Uh, but even Jake's character was, or Saldana or Salanda. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Even Jake's character in the first movie was just kind of predictable and not much depth. Anyway, this movie much different. Family, very fatherly, very kind of confused about what to do. Not like, here's my definition of mask. Well, it's not my definition. Actually, Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot, right? You have masculinity and femininity being kind of defined under the umbrella of like chaos and order, or order and chaos. And I think this movie is extreme. It lines up with that kind of understanding of gender perfectly, flawlessly, actually, because you have the male characters in the movie who are trying to establish a sense of order. They're trying to fix problems. They're trying to, be somewhat dumb. They're trying to, they're intimidating. They're like with the kids. They're trying to intimidate each other. Um, Meanwhile, the female characters are recognizing that some of the stuff that the men are doing isn't working. Um, and they're also much more in tune with nature, right? In terms of like kind of the chaos of nature, like embracing kind of thing, like thinking outside the box, especially the main girl, like the Sigourney Weaver character. She is very in tune with nature. And nature has always had a very feminine kind of quality to it. So my point is, there's this balance. There's this perfect balance, and I don't think it's offensive. I don't think it addresses toxic masculinity at all. In you know what I mean? In like the woke sense of the word. And I don't think it's a feminist movie in the modern definition of the word. I think it's a very traditional movie. So I hope if you've heard otherwise, um, yeah, just uh, don't even believe what I'm telling you. But I'm correct. But but just see it for yourself. Just see it for yourself. Um, it might surprise you. A lot of people. I was watching Friday Night Tights, and I think Jeremy said he was super surprised that he liked the movie because all of everything I'm saying, and I think Ryan Kinnell said the same thing. Um, and a couple other people, a bunch of people, I know, like most people actually like this movie that I'm friends with. It's not woke. Yeah, Flaccid Phoenix is correct. Um, Stephen Lang's character. Uh-oh. Well, maybe tomorrow we can actually have a debate because I don't like that character. But yeah, that might be a fun conversation. I think he's the villain, right? Stephen Lang. Um, Serrano says, I hope to assume the development time played into how the script isn't written like a modern movie. Dude, yeah, it's not the development time, but it's the fact that he conceived this story probably 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah. Um, Colonel, you guys like the Colonel? Interesting. Okay, well, um, do they still have 3D in movies? Yes, Lido Enchanted. Nice to see you. The 3D in this movie, I couldn't tell you if it was good or bad. You know why? Because I was so immersed in the movie, I thought I was swimming. I thought the movie was so immersive. Well, I didn't think. It just was, to the point where I one time I woke up. I yeah, I woke up. I wasn't sleeping, but I like woke out of some kind of like trance, and I looked around and I forgot that I was in the movie theater. Because like sometimes I like to look around and see people and like their reactions, but I was like, whoa, wow, and it was all the underwater stuff. Um, yeah, I'm telling you, if people are, I think some people are downplaying how breathtaking some of this technology is, and I think there's a couple of reasons for that. I think some people just don't want the movie to succeed because they hate the story and the plot, and that's fair. That's fair. Um, and then I think other time, I think if maybe I'm wrong, but I think some people have a hard time focusing on the what they're looking at in terms of like the technology, because it's hard to comprehend how they did any of this stuff. So you almost just assume that it's like it's just something like very easy to do, and it's like, oh, I'm just in a video game, I'm just blah 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 blah. It's just a video game cutscene. Um, but honestly, I think those people are not really paying attention to what they're looking at. And I also think they're probably trying to focus more on the story also. And I will say this, I had a really hard time comprehending what I was watching, because you were bombarded with just an obscene amount of world building and immersion. And like there's 10-minute long sequences where I probably only remember like 2 minutes of it, because of every single shot is from a different angle, like from a different animal, a different plant, a different part of the island. And like, dude, I'm gonna have to watch it 3 times to remember. Oh yeah, like that. I really like the shot of um that weird octopus-like creature. I thought that was really well done. But like those are the things that I'm just like forgetting about because of how much of it is in the movie. Um, my favorite shot in the movie. Oh wait, hold on. I have some questions here. Uh, let's see. Does this make a lead into Avatar 3? Not really, but yes. This is a very standalone movie. Um, which I think is amazing. Um, and I think Aliens is also a very standalone movie. James Cameron's Aliens. Uh, and you could watch. It's definitely gonna. They're done filming the third movie. If anybody didn't know this, they're already done. Um, but what was the other one? What was your favorite shot? My favorite shot? Oh God, that's like asking me what my favorite like memory of my entire life is. Like, there's so many shots in the movie. God, there's I. This isn't my favorite, but like some of the shots with the blue people riding on the back of their creatures that they plug into, like these animals, and then riding them into battle with like plasma rifles. It's so fucking epic. And the sound design is absolutely amazing. That those are some of my favorite shots. Those are some of my favorite shots for sure. And you really only get that stuff that it will hit you so much harder in an IMAX theater than it will on your home television with like no surround sound, 28-inch, TV on your wall. I highly recommend. Don't watch this movie unless you have a really good home theater system. Please watch this in theaters. It's like it's just something like it's a once in a lifetime thing, dude. It really is. Like, I would say Lord of the Rings is the only other one in the last 20 years I can think of that is like this kind of event in like a must-see movie in theaters. There's a couple smaller movies that I would say, like any Quentin Tarantino movie is fun because he films in 70 millimeter, widescreen. I would say there's certain movies like, you know, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, big stuff like that's fun in theaters. But this is a night and day difference. Um, what are the groundbreaking technologies? Hold on, I skipped a couple questions. Trying to read everything. Um, can you react to my YTP, call it YTP at Aardvark, build a boat and got sink? I don't know what that, I don't know. I don't know what that means. J.R. Thompson. I'm confused. Swimming, it wasn't the crowd around you in the theater or spitting on you. Dude, they should have 3D water. Like, yeah, I don't know. What are the actual groundbreaking technologies that were developed? So, are you familiar with ray tracing, Nico, or anybody? Ray tracing is a newer technology, lighting technology, and reflection technology that is very popular with video games now, as opposed to like 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't even think I don't know if the first Avatar even had ray tracing, but you can tell in this movie. I'll bring up a side by side in a second comparison. I'm going to bring up a side here. Hold on. Um, why did I lose my No, not that. That's Jordan Peterson. Um, it's hard to tell because, well, first of all, I'm streaming, and I don't know if I can capture this in 4K. I don't know if I can. Let me try this. Avatar 2 side by side comparison.
Night and day. Oh.
Okay. Well, this guy does a good job of breaking it down. But just I'll start by saying that the reflections in the eyeballs completely dramatically different, and on the skin in Avatar 2 as opposed to Avatar 1. That's probably the biggest leap, is like the reflections in the lighting. And then also the underwater filming technology is like, I don't even understand what I was watching behind the scenes, and I don't understand what I was looking at. Well, I'll pull that up too. We can check that out. Ray tracing is new, but not exactly made for cinema. Yes, but neither is Unreal Engine, and Hollywood's using Unreal Engine to, they have this thing called the what's it called? The vaults, or the what the fuck is it called? You guys might know. It's the thing that they use in The Mandalorian, where the characters aren't actually on another planet, Tatooine. They're standing in a studio, but around them is like a 360-degree dome, and they project backgrounds onto it, and they can film with a camera, and then I think it might even be like Unreal Engine technology, like video game technology. I know Mr. Beast used it for his Squid Game video. He used this Unreal Engine technology where they build an environment in a CGI space, and then they film you walking around in it. It's hard. I'm horribly describing it, but I'll pull that up too. Hold on a second. Lofty, I smurfed. Yes, I smurfed. Nico. Oh, by the way, does anybody want to be a mod on my channel? I don't know how else to find mods other than to ask people about who wants to be a mod. I need people to go bot hunting in my comments. Yeah. Just let me know, or DM me on Twitter or something if you're free, like once a week, to like hop on my stream. ray tracing has been around since the 90s. It's not been efficient, render engine for mass data calculations, but it's not new. Well, see, I'm not a game developer, and I just know that um, I can tell the difference, and I'm pretty sure ray tracing, even if it's been around since the 90s, like 99.9% of the game industry was not using it, up until very recently. You can tell with like if you look at any video game, mirror, like the technology. I think part of ray tracing is reflections, right? So before they was implemented, most games were using mirrors, and it was like really difficult in video games to the technology to make a reflection of a character. It was like I said, I'm not a I should have somebody on who knows what they're talking about. Oh, Blaine wants a thing. What do I do? How do I do this? I don't even know how to do this. Um, uh, 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 pr- Add moderator. Is that what I do? Well, I think I made you a moderator, dude. Um, which is good timing because I'm gonna go get another coffee, but we're gonna quickly watch this short breakdown. We're not gonna watch the whole 8 minutes, but then this will kind of explain a little bit what I'm talking about, and then I'll be right back. And then I have a video of James Cameron's technology that he was using that we can check out of some of his underwater stuff. Oops. I have another video that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the environmentalist stuff too. Yeah, stagecraft. That's what it's called. Oh, that's fine. Sopranos or Serranos. I keep thinking you're Sopranos. Um, but yeah, just check this out quick. I'm gonna grab a quick coffee. But this guy goes into a good breakdown, I think, of some of the visual stuff. Like I said, this is not in 4K. It's in 1080p. So keep that in mind. You know what bothers me? When people watch a trailer on their phone in 720p because they forget to click the button at the bottom, and like this button right here, pop-up window, click 1080p. A lot of the times it'll default to 720p, and people will watch the trailer and they'll be like, dude, it looks so much worse than Avatar 1.
night and day.
Don't be a dumbass. Just do it. Go up here, type in 4K trailer. Everybody should know this by now. This is another thing that bothers me is it's not always people's fault, because IGN, for example, let me pull this up. I just did a very rude interpretation of some people, and I made them sound like retards. But you know what? Maybe you are a little retarded if you do that. Hold on. Watch this. This is 2022, guys. There is no reason why. Hold on. There's no reason why we shouldn't have 4K trailers under all of the, like, this one is, this is the Avatar's official, right? Let's see Avatar official. Let's see if they have a 4K. Okay, watch this. You see this down here? Quality. I'm clicking the quality button. There is no 4K option. There is no 4K option. Okay. Why is there not a 4K option? And that's not just that. Like, IGN does the same thing. Their transfer trailer qualities when they post on YouTube are sometimes really bad quality. And then people in the comments will be like, "Oh, that's horrible. It's not. It doesn't look very good." Or somebody be like, like, and a lot of the times those comments go viral, and like that's it. Like it makes people think it's kind of like a mind virus. Like it just like misinformation or like dumb people who are just dumb and don't watch it in 4K when they can easily do it. Just like cause the whole entire conversation around the movie. It's just misinformation. At this point, I'm rambling because I'm trying to find what I'm talking about. Like for some reason, IGN. Here, I'll just type IGN. Here we go. Once again, it defaulted to auto, right? 720p. It's not even in 4K, IGN. What the fuck are you doing? You're IGN. You're supposed to be the most. You're supposed to present this information to people in the highest quality. Stupid fucking. I don't know. Chat. I'm not even reading chat. Maybe I was. My phone setting is like 240p. Recently, they've gotten much better in calculating the light rays, stuff like that. Yeah. 4K is still processing. Does that mean you're trying it on your computer and it's not working? The only point I'm trying to make, guys, is, you know, when somebody is telling you that they thought the movie sucked and looked worse than the first movie, don't just take their word for it. Like and if they're talking about the trailer, especially, like they very well may have watched it on their phone in like 720p. So I just think people are way too quick to be cynical and outraged, and the culture we have right now is so divisive that everyone just is immediate reactions are you know, some people will develop an opinion after watching something once, and then they will never ever change their opinion, even though, like I said, they, like, you know, it's I'm just saying, I wish people would relax a little bit and be willing to be a little bit more open-minded. Let me go back to that video. I just went on a rant. I need a coffee. But yeah, I think 4K TV. I know not everybody has a 4K monitor either. That's another thing. Not everybody has a 4K monitor or a TV. But I think you should be a little bit more cautious when you're criticizing something if you haven't seen it in its fullest, you know, capacity. Especially trailers. Because trailers themselves are already misleading, because especially with Avatar 2, it looks completely different, the trailer to, and I think this guy talks about it, the trailer to Avatar 2
Okay, but
is very different than the final product.
seriously.
I don't have a 4K monitor right in front of me. I have a 4K TV though. I have a 4K 65-inch TV that I saved up a bunch of money for and bought it. I bought it for Cyberpunk when that came out, and then I also used it for like God of War and stuff. It's really fucking awesome. It's worth it. And I have surround sound. That is another thing. When I come back, maybe I'll rant about surround sound. But I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a coffee quick. Blaine, you got this. You're gonna mod my chat while I'm gone.
Look at the difference here. Original Neytiri, she looks great for her time, but this new image of Neytiri, it's just on another level. One area that it's really also obvious, these improvements, is in the differences between Jake in the teaser, as you can see here, and Jake in the original, as you can see here. The texture level on his skin, if you take a look at his right shoulder, it's very glossy, very shiny. Also notice that his face has roughly the same detail as the rest of his body. That a lot of the close-up shots in the original Avatar were really good for the detail, but in some of the mid shots, it wasn't quite as great. Whereas if you compare it with this shot here, the quality is higher, the skin glossiness looks far more natural, and even the clothes sit on him far better. Now, another shot that I'm really excited about, that maybe is the most exciting for me, in the teaser versus the original is this one. This shot of them going up the vines. There are so many improvements here that can be talked about. Firstly, just the level of detail. If we look at the original, you can tell that the vines themselves are very much in a lower detail. The background is shrouded in fog. And this is really important because, and you'll see this in a lot of the other scenes too, fog is used to cover up things in the distance, whereas in the new version, everything's so much deeper. There are multiple layers to this. The distance, the rendering distance has obviously been massively improved. You can see things that are not only one layer behind, but are many, many layers behind. And this is something that I'll highlight later in the video as well. Just the level of difference between the depth of the image in the teaser versus what the limitations were in the original. Another bit where it's really obvious of the level of detail that we've seen an improvement of is in these shots here. That if you look at this shot in comparison to, again, another shot of flying from the original, take a look at the background. It's blurrier, there's less detail. It seems almost more zoomed in. That here, it's so wide, you can see so much. There's such a high level of detail on the seabed, there's ocean surface, the fish in the sea, and of course, the family flying. Whereas here, there's less depth, less detail, and again, even the shine and the level of detail that we see on the textures is ultimately lower. You might say there are probably 3 different layers to this. There's the Ikran, there's the cliffside, and then there's the forest below. So I think that based on what we know of the limitations that James Cameron was working with in 3D on the first movie, that was probably around the maximum he could use, about 3 distinct layers. Whereas if we move to this shot, there's at least 8 different layers here. You have this one that's really close to you in the kind of spider drone working on the right-hand side. Then you've got the panels that are moving further back. You can physically see the difference in between each one. Then you hit the worker, the 2 avatars walking with the guy in the exosuit. And let's not even talk about the fact that Quaritch is back yet. That will be coming in a later video. And then the next layer, we have the tanks, the large structure behind even that, and the red building. And then all the way in the back, you can see this giant silo. And that's just not something that he could ever really do on the original movie. That there was always the 3D limitations too. So it's important to remember, or at least consider, that in this movie, it's not just a huge leap in terms of the CGI levels that James Cameron is going to present to everyone. The level of 3D, the intricacy of 3D, that 3D technology has also been taken to another level. So while we're talking about the new human elements that are included in the teaser, there's also this beautiful shot. Now, this is another one of those really wide, very detailed shots with loads of layers, lots like the last one. And then maybe this is Hell's Gate, maybe it's something entirely new. But I just think the contrast between this particular one and what we got to see of the human settlement in the original, it's another one of those that's the difference is almost jarring. I mean, just look at this. There's, again, maybe the 3 different layers. You could maybe argue 4. You've got Jake in the foreground, then Wainfleet standing on the ramp, the main RDA base, and then kind of in that really far background, you've got all these refineries.
Okay, I'm back. But he's talking about I think he's talking about the teaser. I didn't realize that. But he gives a good breakdown of some of the technology stuff, technological advancements a little bit in this new one. It's hard to, like I said, it's 1080p. It's hard to tell the difference sometimes between 4K and 1080p, and then also, but yeah, yeah, it's not a good breakdown. He just says more detail. Well, there is a lot more detail. There is so much more detail. And like I said earlier, it's hard to even notice that when you're watching it, because there's so much on screen happening at once that it's really hard to focus on that. Uh, 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 let me pull up um another thing here. Um, yeah, the water stuff is really how you can tell the difference. And like I said, I'm not even talking about the plot. The plot of the movie is very simple. But you know what else has a simple plot? Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is actually, at times during that movie, I was kind of disappointed in the fact that we were retreading kind of the same a lot of the same plot beats in the original movie. In the same way that I was disappointed in The Force Awakens that we were just retreading A New Hope again. Except Top Gun Maverick is the point of the movie is the immersion of being a fighter pilot. Like that's the point of the movie. The point of the movie is it's an action movie with fighter pilot jets. The the plot is kind of you're expecting it to be, let's see. You're kind of expecting it to just uh exist so that you can see fighter pilot jet action scenes. And you don't even want the plot to be complicated, really. Um with Yeah. You know what, does that make sense? Actually, Ryan Kinnell said the exact same thing. I'm gonna bring this up because um maybe he said it in a better way. Oh, this is me and the boys going to watch Barbie starring Ryan Gosling. This is you know, fuck the girls. Fuck them. We're going in. We're going hard. We're going hard. And we're not even we're in this car. We're not talking. We're just going we're going to see Barbie and we're actually like mentally preparing for it because that's how fucking base that we are, right? Um I didn't make that meme. I just thought it was funny. Where's the thing with the thing with the thing with the thing? Uh oops. This is it. All right, this is what I said. I said no one is saying this. Well, I didn't hear anybody talking about it, but I said Top Gun Maverick is not good because of the plot. Same thing with Avatar. It's the spectacle, immersion, and cinematic perfection that makes them so fun to watch. And then I said recycled narratives aren't inherently a bad thing, which is true, right? But then here's Ryan Kinnell. This is what he had
between how I felt about this movie and how I felt about Top Gun Maverick. Both of them were sequels that I didn't think really were needed. Now, I think Top Gun is a better movie than the first Avatar. I care more about that. But both of them as well were pretty simple, like pretty fucking simple stories that, you know, relied heavily on what happened the time before, even echoed some things that happened from the movie before, also ripped off maybe a couple things from other movies. The fucking trench run, Star Wars for Top Gun Maverick. Yet at the end of the day, they were both involved strong male characters who made mistakes, you know, learned and grew from those mistakes in a way. And at the end of the day, were there for the people that they cared about. So for me, like I felt very similar walking out of this than I did for Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is a better movie overall, but I still really like this one. There are a lot of.
All right, there it is. If you hate my takes, well, I'm using Ryan Kinnell as my shield for the bad takes this time around. uh, yeah, no, so like, he's right. You know, is Top Gun Maverick a better movie? Maybe. Maybe. Um, it's, I mean, it is just completely different. It's a completely different kind of movie. Uh, I didn't think the story was bad in this movie at all. It's not, um, it's not groundbreaking. It's definitely no like Tolkien. It's no hey sketch. It's no Tolkien. It's not a Tolkien quality, or even like George Lucas, like in terms of like like world building and like you know I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like Cameron is setting something up that eventually will have like a fuck ton of lore and like really fun stuff, but it's just a simple story about a family, about a bad people trying to take over, colonize, a planet because Earth is dying. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be anything else. It doesn't need to be anything else, because that's in and of itself is actually it's actually a story that works, and it's worked before. I think it works here. I think it always will work if you put the effort into telling maybe like the best version of that story that you can. I still think this movie had some issues. I still don't want to spoil it quite yet, but I'll talk about spoilers in a little bit. Someone said I'd use Camelot as a shield. More meat to get through. They've got to protect the whales. Yes. Yes, wildlife, ocean wildlife is a very big theme. Um, yeah, they also, Sketch is kind of right. They also show up they show up late in the movie. Well, they also are the best part of the movie, I think. The water part is like the second half of the movie, or the second and third act of the movie. This is a very traditional 3-act story. And I don't know why I forget what I was doing on here. Oh, I was just showing you that. Good stories can be used by everyone, from environs to pastors, as metaphor for lessons. Here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing about the environmentalism in this movie. I think it's important to care about wildlife, and anyone who like has an automatic like cringe reaction to the word environmentalism, or like environment or wildlife, I think you're conditioned. I think you might be conditioned to be triggered by some of that shit, because there's nothing wrong with caring about the wildlife. We shouldn't be burning down the Amazon rainforest to, grow crops and shit. You know what I mean? Like, which is what we're doing. And the same thing with the oceans. Like, I think I think everyone would agree that some of the pollution in our oceans is fucked up. It's really fucked up. Now, this movie doesn't even talk about pollution. That's another thing. It's another misinformation about this movie. I don't think there is a single reference to pollution, because Pandora has not been colonized. There is no pollution on Pandora. James Cameron sure knows water effects. Yeah, that Abyss movie goes hard. Abyss was groundbreaking. So was Titanic. Yep. And so was his trip to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, if anybody knows about that. Maybe I should play that video. Blaine, do you have a fish tank for real? I love fish. I fucking love fish. I breed reptiles also. I'm a very, very big animal enthusiast. I breed reptiles. No, not right now. Not at the moment, because I stopped. It was getting a little bit too intense. But I have a Eurymastix. I have a gargoyle gecko. I have viper geckos. I have a scorpion tail gecko. And it's fun. It's so much fun, because they're little tiny little dinosaurs, and they're so easy to take care of. That's why I kept my fish in my tank and not the ocean. Well, fish tanks are fine. Fish don't really give a fuck, honestly, if they're in a tank. Now, obviously dolphins and whales and shit shouldn't be held in captivity at all. They're super smart creatures. And they have high emotional, like, receptors and shit, and like they shouldn't be, they probably shouldn't be in captivity. Hey Dugenheim, what's up? I would have expected to be all about pollution. Izzy, that is what I thought. Or climate change, right? Now there is, yes, none of that's in the movie. The main thing in the movie, and in the way of water, is basically like kind of if you want to call it propaganda, you can call it propaganda, but it's not bad propaganda, and it works within the context of the story. It's like anti-fishing, or anti-overfishing the oceans, or anti-killing intelligent animals for profit. That's the problem that the movie tries to address. And I think, like, if you're if climate change triggers you, and you don't want to, like, support a movie that's like Inconvenient Truth or something, or some climate change political agenda, that makes sense to me, because I think a lot of it is conspiracy theory bullshit. But I think ocean wildlife concerns are not conspiracy theories. So, yeah. I applaud you for the correct pronunciation of my handle. Well, I guess that's because I'm part. I guess Dugenheim is just a very European sounding. Well, no, my ancestry is weird. I'm actually part Native American. I think I'm 1/64th. But I don't give a fuck. I'm just like a white guy. But I actually have some interesting ancestry. My family has done some extensive research. We go back to I have Algonquin ancestry, and then in the same family bloodline, I also have Puritan ancestry. Colonizer. I have colonizer ancestry, and I have Native American ancestry. Guess which one I like more? Thank you, technology. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I have Puritan ancestry. My ancestors were dope. Thomas Dudley. I'm related to Thomas Dudley. He came over, around the time of Columbus, and he founded Cambridge, Massachusetts. He founded Harvard. And he actually didn't own slaves, which is interesting. But you know what? They erased his name from history anyway, because he happened to be around the same time slavery existed. So all his statues had to be torn down. Despite the fact that nobody's ever proved that he owned any slaves, and historians actually said he did not. Thomas Dudley. Anyway, I also have European ancestry, dating back to William the Conqueror. I need to confirm that, but my uncle swears by it. Excuse me. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the whale stuff's cool. Here's Jordan Peterson talking about whales.
It sort of falls into the category of solvable problem with potentially proper interventions. The other thing is, as far as I can tell, there's no losers to fixing this. you know, the oceanic mismanagement problem is of such magnitude, with the exception of certain species, that if we keep up our rate of fishing for the next 20 years, there's not going to be an awful lot left. And that's not going to be very good for the large corporations that, you know, that make their economic living off the oceans. And it's going to be real hard on us if we want to eat. And then, of course, there's the loss of the beauty and the diversity, and also the potential to truly transform the nature of the ecosystems of the ocean in a way that really won't be good. I mean, our planet's covered 2/3 by oceans, and that's a lot. And like, we're messing with them in a really serious way. And part of the reason for that.
So he's talking about overfishing the oceans, right? He goes, this is an hour long, right? This whole thing, this is just part of it. It's a really fascinating Jordan Peterson lecture. I recommend watching it if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, look at chubby Jordan Peterson before he had all of his health problems. Nico says, my ancestor's Genghis Khan. Top that. Oh yeah? I'll top it. My ancestor was Genghis Khan. Fuck you. Still no memberships? I'm not sure what that means. Oh, guys, yeah, like and subscribe. I don't know is that what you're talking about? I don't know. Yeah, definitely keep the notifications and stuff on and subscribe. I don't know how to turn on memberships. I think I have super chats enabled, but I don't know what you're talking about. I'll look into that for sure. I need to organize my streams better. But like, you know, have you ever been to SeaWorld and you ever see these like prisons that they keep some of these animals in? Has anyone ever seen this movie? The Cove? So The Cove is about dolphin hunting in Japan and some other parts of the world, and how they brutally kill and inhumanely slaughter dolphins, who are intelligent creatures. And it's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. It's very hard to watch.
He's mafia.
Somebody's behind me. I don't know who that is.
They don't like me. They don't like my message.
Rick is world famous for his work with dolphins.
I feel somewhat responsible.
So basically they infiltrate parts of the Japanese coast where they're in this secret cove where it's hard to watch. They lure some of these dolphins in with, like, you know, trying to like just lure them in, and then they trick them, and then they slaughter them, like, with spears and all kinds of stuff. And it's sad because you can see them trying to, like, help each other escape and stuff, and like their families and stuff. It's just these are not dumb stupid fish, you know. There are dumb stupid fish that I don't give a fuck. Like, if we're fishing for salmon and all that stuff, like, that's perfectly acceptable. That's called hunting and feeding people, right? But this is an unnecessary thing to do, in my opinion. Yeah, Blaine, what do you think about the Japanese dolphin problems? Because I know Blaine's been to Japan many times. This is not an action movie.
Because it was the Flipper TV series that created this multi-billion-dollar industry.
The dolphin smile is nature's greatest deception. It creates...
And dolphins can get very sad. Dolphins actually get depressed. This has been essentially established. Everybody knows this. And it's like, yeah, some people are just very inhumane. Now, if you want to talk about animal abuse, you don't need to go any further than Southeast Asia, where it's some of the worst animal abuse on the planet Earth, especially Vietnam. And you know, I think Vietnam, or is it? I don't want to get this wrong, but I think it's Vietnam where they don't even have animal rights laws. And they abuse animals for profit. There's YouTube channels that profit off of animal abuse. That this is a whole other stream that I could do about this stuff. If you don't know about some of these YouTube channels that basically copy what the dodo does, and some other big YouTube channels that pretend to rescue animals from horrible situations. But some of these other channels actually, they put the animals into horrible situations and then they rescue them. And they don't show you this, but people have done very deep dive analysis video essays on this, and it's incredible how much they get away with. You know, people using the same dog like in 6 different videos and pretending it's a new dog and putting it in like barbed wire and like burying it under like, you know, up to its neck in mud, or throwing it into like a shallow creek, and like it, I'm telling you guys, it's horrible. It's terrible. But
It's the illusion.
you know, it's just, this is the themes of the movie, guys. This is what Avatar 2 is kind of trying to. You could call it propaganda. I don't care. I think it's good. I think it's a good message. You know, any kind of movie with family values is propaganda. But it's like, you know, or like, you know what I mean? Like, people throw that word around like it's, you know, like racist. It's like everything's propaganda. Everything's propaganda. Everything's woke. Everything's racist. Everything's sexist. You know, everything's feminist. Well, some feminist shit's awesome. Kill Bill is fucking awesome. Trinity from the original Matrix is a badass bitch, as they say. Anyway,
They're always happy.
You realize after a while they don't really belong in captivity.
I'd never seen so many dolphins before.
The Japanese people don't even know about it.
They take the boats around to the secret cove that nobody could see.
They're afraid of cameras.
look at this guy. I don't know, man. Some of these people don't. It's like I'm kind of like just looking through this guy's eye sockets into like, and he just like doesn't have a soul. You know, some people just don't give a fuck, and like you don't know who this person is, but these people basically just torture dolphins. Yeah, I don't know. Southeast Asia needs human rights first. Sure, I guess. I guess that makes sense. Coughs PETA. Yeah, I'm not PETA. I don't give. Oh, fuck PETA. PETA goes out of their way to talk about like. Oh, look at this. PETA will fucking spend $1 million on anti-Pokemon ads. Like, fuck PETA. Seriously, that is not. Yeah, that's retarded. Anyway, I recommend this movie. It's a good movie. Good documentary. What else was I gonna say? I think another thing I want to talk about with this movie is the action scenes are like, if you still haven't seen the movie and you're like, oh, this is just going to be boring, this is just a very long screensaver. It's actually not true. The action scenes in this movie are better than 99% of Hollywood, like action scenes. Just like Top Gun Maverick, fighter pilot like jet scenes are better than like anything else you've ever seen. This is like, now I'm talking about like actual like warfare between like the blue people and the humans, like just giant fucking like battle sequences. It is so elaborate. It's crazy. It's so brilliant. I wonder if I could pull up now. And another thing, I can't remember how many people watching said they've watched this yet, but there's the middle part of this movie is what like the scene behind me. This is the water planet, and like this is their house. Like that they live in these weird houses where like right below is where their little dolphin friends kind of come up and hang out. And it's so beautiful, right? You could just watch this movie and like marvel at the wildlife. And well, I think it depends on what kind of person, what kind of media consumer you are. I was talking to somebody about this. Some people don't, it's fine, but some people just don't like any kind of anything that doesn't like progress a story forward. They can't get into it. So anything that's like meditative or makes you think about, what you're looking like, kind of like just kind of you're supposed to kind of just live in this world a little bit for about an hour in the middle of the movie. You're just like living with these people. Some people don't like that. I don't understand why they don't like it, honestly, because to me, I don't get it, but I just know that some people don't like it. To me, it's so beautiful. It's like it's part of the reason why the movie's amazing, and part of the reason why Avatar is cool. Like, for example, if you just cut the middle hour of this movie out and replaced it with like a montage sequence that gets you from the first act to the third act, right? And then I'm not spoiling anything, but this is not the same place as they were in the beginning of the movie. There's like a transition. So if you do what other people seem to like be asking for, which is take the first part of the movie and bridge that to the third part of this movie with like a beautiful like quick and fast-paced montage training sequence where they go to this new place, meet these new people, learn their new ways, become part of their society, work their way up, and become uh, so that the people actually like appreciate them and like respect them. I think that would be a bad thing. That would be a disservice to the movie. It would feel like it would feel unearned. It would feel like not believable that these people just went from this forest village to this water village and suddenly became part of the tribe. And if you did it in like a montage way where you cut out the whole middle part of the movie, I think it would suck. It would make the movie much worse. Because it makes sense at the end of the movie why everybody is where they are. It makes sense why these people are working with the main characters, why their friends are helping them, why they there's a catharsis that you kind of feel when certain people, there's high stakes. Some people die. All this stuff it would seem like a video game plot if you didn't slow down the movie a bit and explore this new space. Does that make sense? I wish honestly I was debating somebody about this because we could actually get to, like, me just talking about it. Well, I don't know. Maybe I am convincing a little bit with what I'm saying, but the point is, I want to know why people don't want that. I would love to talk to somebody who disagrees with me about that because I just think it's so obvious it would make the movie so much worse. Instead of a 3-hour movie that they think has a bad story, it would be a 2-hour movie with a bad story. With a much worse story. Much worse. Don't badmouth video game plots. I'm not badmouthing video game plots. The fact that let me think about this. One of my favorite games of all time. Here, I'm going to pull this up. Um uh Remake. It's a remake. Hold on. Um Here it is. This is probably a good one. Which one's? I'm trying to figure out which one I should do. I'll just do this one. So, hold on. Don't badmouth video game plots. Here's what I'm trying to say, guys. Shadow of the Colossus is one of my favorite games of all time. And guess what? This game doesn't have much of a story. This game does not, compared to God of War, this is a totally different game. Totally different kind of game. Now, this game is very what's the, I keep using the word like meditative just because I can't think of like I need to expand my vocabulary. But that's how it makes you feel. It feels like you're sitting, feels like you're escaping into this world and kind of just absorbing the environment and like the level of like detail and the things, like ancient structures that are like millions of years old. Like it's actually kind of a nostalgic game actually, because it relies a lot on like ruined architecture and very empty worlds that used to be inhabited by very, 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 very advanced civilization, right? And there's just like this sense of awe that you get walking around in this world. It's so immersive. Yeah, immersive. Yeah. Shadow of the Colossus came out at a time when narratives in video games weren't nearly as complex or involved. Yeah. But I still think it's a timeless game. I don't need a narrative ever. I don't need video games to be a single experience. I don't need only narrative games. Some of my favorite games are just completely narrativeless, don't have any kind of story whatsoever. Ark, a lot of survival games, right? Games where you're just kind of walking around, you're experiencing the world around you, you're kind of falling in love with this beautiful world that somebody made. Like somebody actually made this, somebody designed it. You know, you're also fighting giant fucking epic colossi, you know, and I think Avatar does a great job with being very entertaining while also doing exactly what Shadow of the Colossus does, which is a combination of puzzle solving, cinematic action, and just world building. And there is a lot of people, maybe you're not one of them, but there's a lot of people who love the world building process, or like the creative imagination, and of just being in like an open world or like some sort of artistic world. Breath of the Wild was really successful because of that. Breath of the Wild, I don't think, was popular because of the story. But wait, somebody said, is it Rescue the Princess by Any Means story? Yeah, no, this movie has a very generic story. But Team Eco, they color that generic story with very artistic and expressive originality. And like, you know, this character Wander is a very generic person, but there's a lot of lore behind his quest, and there's a lot of mystery behind it. That there's even a book written about Eco, the first game. This is Shadow of the Colossus, but the music is fucking amazing in this game. Yes, CJ, I agree. This is my favorite video game soundtrack of all time. By the way, I'd rather have Shadow of the Colossus plots over modern plots. That's why do you think Elden Ring is so successful? Everybody agrees, but for some reason, now it's good to, like I said, it's good to have both. God of War is very successful, but Elden Ring is something fresh, and that's what everybody wanted this year. It's what everybody wanted. Breath of the Wild, Shadow of the Colossus. This game is just a bit underrated in terms of its popularity. And even though it's not underrated in terms. Everybody who played this game actually fucking says it's one of the best games they've ever played. But you know what I mean? Like Elden Ring is so much more popular. By the way, Elden Ring borrowed heavily from. I wonder if it's in this teaser. Like, not the boss battles, obviously, because the boss battles in this game are puzzles. You have to solve you have to climb up this thing. You have to find a way to climb up this thing. It's fucking amazing. But here's something that nobody talks about. Elden Ring got their essentially borrowed its concept of like world design, like map design, from Shadow of the Colossus and from Breath of the Wild also. But this open, empty, ancient, desolated landscape, right? That has a lot of history that that is like very mysterious, and you're just kind of like there during like a really, really, really bad. You show up when everything is like fucked up and like horrifying. But at one point, all of these places were vibrant and lively and things. But I think Elden Ring got its level design ideas and inspiration from Shadow of the Colossus. Does that make sense? Hardwork says I have a horrible take. I don't know what you're talking about. The open way still hits hard. Yes, it does. I can't play any of that songs on here. Don't want to get copyright strike. The atmosphere, Steven. Hold on. Somebody said this. No story and the experience of death. Limbo. Yeah. The atmosphere and the world can be more important than a story. Try watching a story without an atmosphere is very bad. Yeah. I don't want to. I still don't. I'm trying not to minimize story, because I think Lord of the Rings is a fucking amazing trilogy because of its story. But like I said, I think some people are very limited in their scope of what they like, and that's fine. But it's just like, some people are not, just a little bit narrow-minded, and other people are more open-minded. That's fine. That's fine. And you might have a good defense for why Shadow of the Colossus sucks, but I fucking would disagree. Somebody said Shadow of the Colossus was said to be an experiment in new gameplay. Yeah, I mean they did Eco before this. Eco is also very. It lacks. It is compelling, the story, but it's not like a narrative storyline. It's very like. It's hard to describe, man. Eco is like, it's a puzzle game with a very. It doesn't let you interact much with the environment, but it almost makes it better. Not the environment, with the story, because there's so much mystery, and you're like, how the fuck did this girl get in this cage, right? Or like, how did like, here, I'll just play some Eco. How did oops. What are these statues? Like what the fuck? Like I said, this is a puzzle game where you drag this girl around, you rescue her, right? And you'd have to find your way out of this castle. And there's some combat, but you're trying to avoid all this stuff. It's very atmospheric. Very atmospheric. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but yeah, I think it's a brilliant game. Eco is one of my favorite games. So everything I just said is, I'm trying to reinforce how I feel about Avatar and the middle part of this movie. I fucking love it. I also play a lot of Ark Survival Evolved, and let me see if I can find. Um, like I love this game because it's just immersive, and there's no story. You're um you're dropped onto an island naked with nothing, and the first thing you have to do is basically run away from dinosaurs, punch them, and then eventually see, look, you got a map. They don't explain anything. You're collecting berries. It's a survival game, right? But eventually you're making here's tools that you can make, and you can start crafting, fire and firewood, and you have a spear now, you know. But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is this game is so immersive. I love the feeling of just being lost on an island, um, and discovering new creatures, and like discovering new plant life, and finding a really cool like cave under a waterfall, and like making it my home base, and you know what I mean. I loved that part of Avatar. I loved the discovery of Pandora's water city, water place. Uh, I have 9 notifications. Oh, I always have a lot of notifications. I get a lot of people disagreeing with me about stuff, but I like it. Let's see. The beginning starts off like a Ricada vacation. Nick Ricada. Do you guys have any games that are like this that you kind of think are compelling in the similar kind of way? Or movies? Do you have any movies that kind of just let the world, the world building kind of breathe, like for a lengthy period of time, and don't have to like rush the story 24, like just like Top Gun is like boom, 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 right? It's super fast paced. Then if you watch something like Avatar 2, I'm trying to think. I watch a lot of like movies that do this kinds of stuff, like Stanley Kubrick is a good director. 2001: A Space Odyssey is a good example of a movie that's kind of like doesn't. There's a plot, but there is so much attention to detail in the environment and the world, and like just trying to immerse you as much as possible in this kind of starred like guy. That is a very difficult movie to explain. Um, Ghibli movies are like that, dude. Princess Mononoke is like that to an extent. I mean, it has very, very good pacing and has a good story. But yeah, I mean, Spirited Away has moments where you're just kind of like watching things happen, and you're like, oh, that's a really cool, demon looking thing taking a bath, or like that is a beautiful, um, like in Princess Mononoke. There's like here, let me pull this up. Um, oops. Like this movie has so much there's a lot of environmentalist themes as well.
Gods walk the earth. An epic battle rages between the encroaching civilization of man and the gods of the forest.
An epic battle rages between the encroaching civilization of man and the gods of the forest. If that's not fucking Avatar, I don't know what is. Now, this came out in 1999, so James Cameron probably loves this movie.
When the forest has been cleared and the wolves wiped out, this place will be the richest land in the world.
And another cool thing about this movie. Oh, you guys before we get into this, I just wanted to read some of your responses. Metroid Prime, Hollow Knight, Monster Hunter. I see what you're saying. Of course. Although Yes. Okay. Those are good examples. Very like very artistic, not handholdy storytelling, like non-linear storytelling, kind of very environmental stories, video games. I agree. I agree about. I haven't played many Metroid games. I played Metroid Prime 3, and that's it. I guess I'm a normie gamer. Not really, but yeah, Monster Hunter is very, very epic and also has very immersive environments, and it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful game. I like just in Monster Hunter, I like just chilling, just like sitting at the Iceborne like hot springs. You know, if you know what I'm talking about, the DLC hot springs. I like just sitting in the hot springs and hanging out because it's just so beautiful. Lord of the Rings has great establishing shots, but are in so many different locations. The ocean kind of got old. I can. That's fair. It didn't get old for me. I could, I could watch a whole 12 episode, you know, series about this one movie. Honestly, I love the ocean. I love the ocean. Um, Also, Lord of the Rings is 9 hours technically, like the whole thing. Um, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Um, I also kind of appreciate that James Cameron is not like is taking a little bit of a risk here and spending so much time with these people and on this planet because, like I said, it is a risk. It's a risky thing to do. Um, I think it paid off. One of Miyazaki's films. Um, oh, Skyrim, dude, that is a perfect example. Everybody just whoever, I mean, if you like Skyrim, uh, you know, every time I see somebody playing, they're just like wandering around. They're not really like engaging with the story. They're like they're walking up some mountain, hunting a bear, you know, looting a bandit camp, and then just making a fire, buying a house, decorating the house, walking, just like hiking. You know what I mean? It's so immersive. Uh, yeah, I think just for some reason with movies, people have a hard time turning on that part of their brain. I do not have a hard time. I fucking love it. I love Avatar. Except the story has some issues. I don't like the villain. I don't think the villain there is no Darth Vader in this movie. This franchise has absolutely a very generic villain. It's just bad humans. And the Colonel, if you like the Colonel, that's fine. But it's no, I'm talking about Avatar 2, not Princess Mononoke. Sorry. If you like the Colonel, um, I don't know. I don't know why anybody likes him. He's a very angry military guy who wants to colonize. He really badly wants to colonize. Like anytime like somebody just desperately, like some characters just like all they want to do is like genocide or colonize something. It's like it's a very caricature of kind of what actually happened in history. It's it's not exactly how it went down. But uh yeah, like fucking Princess Mononoke, man.
Now,
Look at these little dudes. I could fucking watch a whole movie about these guys. Whatever the fuck, like find out where they live, what they do, what they eat.
the fate of the
I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit.
world rests on the courage of one fearless princess.
I'm not afraid to die, and I would do anything to get the humans out of here.
And
Yep. Here's Billy Crystal, by the way.
brave
The voice actor.
You fight like a demon, boy. Like something possessed.
What exactly are you?
Oh, and that was Billy Bob Thornton. Wait, did I get the names right up? Billy Bob Thornton is the short little fat old guy. Simple stories and characters are perfect fit for meditations on a subject. Sure. Now, personally, I like movies like that. Like, I don't know if you guys know who Andrei Tarkovsky is, but he's a Russian filmmaker, and he does a lot of movies with almost no dialogue and very, very visual. It's almost like his movies are very much like paintings, like moving paintings. And I think I just love all of them. I love everything he's ever done. And I watch a lot of movies like that. And it's just kind of like something that I'm really into. A lot of foreign movies do this kind of anti-Hollywood thing where sometimes it can be pretentious. It's like, oh, I'm trying to be anti-Hollywood. And then you end up making something that's like really pretentious and boring. But I don't like those movies. I'm not talking about that. Like, I think there are very, very good versions or movies. Like I said, Stanley Kubrick, but a lot of foreign directors, a lot of Russian and Swedish and German directors that do all kinds of really cool stuff without telling a predictable, fast-paced story, right? I woke up. Yeah, one of these days I'm gonna do a movie stream, a foreign. So, like I said earlier, I have like 24 weeks lined up for like stream topics. I think one of them is like a foreign film stream, and I would love to kind of just go over some like really good foreign movies or ask you guys like what you've seen and shit. Because I think it's a fantastic thing to get into. Okay, I need to crash from exhaustion. Avatar 2 drained me. Oh, you saw it today. That's cool, man. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. I just wake up and I'm craving for colonialization. Colonization. Yeah, whatever. I mean, Lady Eboshi in this movie is a colonizer, right? But she's got no, I'm sorry. This movie has a lot of depth to it. My point about her is it's almost like you can sympathize with this character and her women followers that the whole movie is very feminist. A very feminist movie in a good way.
To see with eyes unclouded by hate.
Now watch closely, everyone. I'm going to show you how to kill a god.
This thing is fucking awesome. This is a god.
Fire!
And like it's humans versus, it's the same thing as Avatar. It's humans essentially destroying the forests, I think they're mining for iron. And they're the animals are pushing back, and the wolves are intelligent, the boars are intelligent, the monkeys are somewhat intelligent. And you know what I mean? I can't even watch this trailer without getting hyped. This is one of the best. It's in my top 5 of all time. I showed this on my stream last time, but it was in my top 5 favorite movies of all time. Princess Mononoke. Yeah, there are no bad guys. It's a very gray storyline. I agree. So like Avatar, I love it, guys. I don't even like the first one, but I love the action in the first one. I love the action scenes. I think they're really well done. The story is I've seen it twice now, and it's still kind of forgettable. But I'm telling you, this new one is not forgettable. It's not at all forgettable. It's very emotional, but very simple, and there's plot holes. It's not a perfect movie. Yeah. Avatar is a little more black and white. Duh. No, it's white and blue. No, yeah, Avatar. That's one of the problems with Avatar, in my opinion. I wish the because I think the colonizers, whoops, I'm going to get canceled, but you know what? Fuck it. I think the colonizers in American history, I don't think they were bad people. I think essentially what we did is improved with all the problems that came along with it. We improved society and the world to a point where, you know, yeah, it was. I think what I'm trying to say is I think it was inevitable. I think expansion and colonialization, it was just an inevitable thing. It's not a white thing. Doesn't matter. It just happened to be that European people, did it first, right? Can you imagine if all of North America was still a bunch of Native American people with spears and stuff running around hunting and being shamans? The entire continent of North America. Like, can you actually? It's hard to imagine. And you know what I mean? Like, with all the problems that capitalism and all this stuff has, like, industrialism has caused, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like living in in this country. I kind of like it. Uh, you know, we're also drastically dropping world hunger rates because of capitalism. You don't see communist countries and dropping world or their starvation rates. I mean, there's problems with every single system, and we fucked up. The Spanish Inquisition was a fucking disaster. Slavery was a disaster. The colonial, like the killing of, bringing smallpox and killing a bunch of people was a disaster. The Native Americans. But come on, nobody, nobody actually would. If you could push a button and turn America into, as though colonialism never happened, and then suddenly you wake up and you have to go down to the river to collect your water every day. Absolutely nobody would push that button. Not a single fucking person. Despite how desperately you try to virtue signal on the internet and fucking come all over your political beliefs all over your Twitter timeline. I don't know. I'd love to talk to somebody who would actually push that button. I would like very much to talk to that person. The German camps were a disaster. Yeah. Obviously. Yeah. I know I'm a bad person, but I'm not that bad. Well, that's why I think that's why movies like this are interesting to me, because, like, I don't blame. Well, okay, let me back up. Like I said earlier, I think this movie has one-dimensional characters, and I think it could be much better for the human characters. But the whole concept of establishing a civilization and trying to be a multiplanetary species, and then having to compete for resources with the people of a planet that actually has, like, a neural network within the trees of the planet, so you can't even cut trees down. Like, it's a fascinating concept, and I feel bad for the people. I feel bad for the Na'vi, and also I don't think it's, for example, I think for interstellar travel, right? If we're talking about humans coming here, I think it's different, right? Because on Earth, we have no choice but to like basically just expand until we bump up against a civilization that doesn't want to evolve or industrialize, and then it's like, well, we can't go anywhere else. But with they haven't established at all in this franchise that for some reason Pandora, maybe they did, but Pandora is like the only place in the entire universe that human beings can colonize. I'm kind of not buying it. You know what I mean? Kind of like the humans just seem like jerks. And even if it's like knowing what we know now about how the Native American population kind of got fucked. I'm not saying I would wish we did the, I would do the same exact thing again, like blah, blah, blah. All I'm saying is, I think, I think, I think it's important I lost my train of thought. I'm reading chat. Isn't it kind of weird humans don't want to figure out the spirit tree connection? Yep, that's 100% dumb. There's a neural network within the trees, like I said, and for some stupid reason in the first movie, Sigourney Weaver's character is like, guys, I'm a scientist. I'm telling you, there's some kind of insane, groundbreaking intelligence within the planet itself, right? And the military is just like, nah, fuck it. Well, here's the deal. In reality, we all know how scientists always get their way, right? We we know this. I think in a more realistic storyline, they would have taken the scientists much more seriously. And this would have this instead of happening over the course of like a month, this like conflict would have happened over the course of like hundreds of years, right? Yeah. And what are humans supposed to do if their planet's dying, right? That's another thing. The Na'vi people are like, go back to your planet. Well, no. How about no? How about we work together? Maybe we can have the southern hemisphere of this planet and you can have the northern hemisphere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the movie doesn't do a great job of establishing that level of detail in terms of this plot and the conflict. It's very black and white. Uh, why don't they just bomb from orbit? I don't know. I'm not sure what you're getting at. Like if they just wiped out everything from orbit, what would they be colonizing exactly? A barren wasteland? Smashing giant blue women? After seeing people react to Miss Vampire from Resident Evil, nothing surprises me. Yeah. Lady Dimitrescu or whatever her name is. I just man. Yeah, it's tough. I don't envy James Cameron for I really don't. Like I think people don't give him enough credit for what he did with this franchise. It is very hard to tell a story that is unique but also involves colonialism and also is not like super woke. And I think I think he did a good job balancing it all. Gas the Navi from orbit, strip mine the unobtainium. I guess. I mean, I don't. There's probably a reason why they wouldn't want to do that. Maybe the fact that they also want to colonize the planet itself and live here, because they did say that this is their new home, basically. And also, here's another problem. This is a spoiler, so if you haven't, yeah, maybe tune out for a minute if you don't want to. Well, is it a spoiler? Not really. I don't know. maybe just like don't listen to this part. There's these whales that they're after. The humans are after these giant whale creatures in the show, in the movie, and for the very reason, because of the fact that these whales have brain fluid or brain juice that is very expensive on the black market or something. Basically, the brain juice, what it does is that it can make human aging stop. Apparently, that's what they say. Now, there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to harvest something like that. I understand that the whales are super intelligent creatures, but I mean, what do you expect us people just to not not ever just like accept the fact that all you got to do is kill a whale and then you can stop aging? Like I that's not a realistic. Am I wrong? Like is that an immoral thing to do? I don't know. It's James Cameron sets you up for making like making you feel like a bad person almost. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it does make you really, really think about all this stuff in an interesting way. Um, because it's not like on Earth we're just slaughtering dolphins because their fucking meat sells for a lot of money. Like that, that's not the same thing as, if dolphins had some sort of brain fluid that stopped human aging, of course we would be hunting them, or at least trying to clone that, or that sort of like at least trying to grow, like harvest some of it and then try to like grow it organically, or like clone some of that, whatever that material is. I don't even know. I'm just rambling. Holy fuck. Um, Catching up on Ghibli takes take comes from an ignorance of Shinto and Japanese folklore. I don't even know if I talked about that. I mean, I obviously, yeah. There's a lot of Japanese folklore and Shintoism. I went to a conference where they talked about this. Yeah, I wasn't really mentioning that kind of. I don't know. I think there's ways to interpret that story without the knowledge of Japanese folklore. But yes, I'm very aware. Um, but I also probably am ignorant at the same time. But like I said, it's it's one of it's one of like the 25 movies that influenced this movie in some way. Um, right. Yeah, I agree. Ignorant doesn't equal dumb. Well, if you're here if you're ignorant about something and you don't acknowledge that you're ignorant about it, then you're being dumb, right? That's like that's an interesting. Well, yeah, a lot of people do that, sadly. Um, I try not to be that kind of person. One of the tribes would have joined the humans by now. One would want to one up the other tribe, just like the American Indians. Oh, this is very true. Like the like the Canadian. I know from my I need to study more, but I know that the French teamed up with some of the Native American tribes and slaughtered other Native American tribes. And yep, this was just this happened. This is a very common thing. Hey, anime dude. Anime guy, Brandon the anime guy. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the third one. I can't express enough how absolutely mind fucking blowing the animation was in this movie. The technology, the cinematography. It's like I'll never be able to express it enough, and I feel like I'm not even over. I could say I could just talk about it for 25 hours and I'm still not even overhyping it, to be honest, because that's how good it is. Just go watch like Chris Stuckman. Like, here's the deal. Everybody's saying this, except for like some people are like ignoring this for some reason because they would rather criticize the plot. So they're just straight up ignoring the fact that it's a mind-blowing masterpiece of visual cinematography. But Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, um, Angry Joe, basically any movie reviewer on YouTube is saying the exact same thing that I'm saying. And it's like, if that's not enough reason for you to go see a movie, I don't get it, man. I don't know why you wouldn't want to have that experience. It's really only 3 hours of your life. Like, what are you going to do anyway? Just browse YouTube videos for 3 hours? Like, I don't get it. I don't get why you would miss out on this opportunity to see this movie in the theaters. Just for the sake of the technology. I'm not even saying this if you don't like the story of the first one, because like I already said, the story is much better in this one. It's just not amazing. And it has very good family values that you'll take away something positive from. The visuals look amazing, but is the story anything to write home about? I don't know. I teared up a few times. I thought, like I was saying this earlier, we kind of broke it down a little bit. I don't think it's the best story. I think there's plot holes, but some of my favorite movies don't have good stories. So, like, I think John Wick is just kind of a dumb story, but fucking awesome movie. Mad Max. I like Fury Road a lot. Technically, and it's another brilliant practical effects heavy masterpiece in terms of a technical cinematic achievement with what they did with the practical effects. The fact that it's a 2 hour long epic chase scene. There's some dumb things in it, like the sandstorm. But overall, holy fuck, that movie's a brilliant action movie. And the story is not great. Once again, the story is not great. But I don't care. I've seen that movie 5 times. I don't watch it because of the story. I watch it because it's nonstop immersive action, a fucking brilliant choreography, and the set design, like, holy shit. Dune has a good story. The issue with Dune is that the story is not done. Like, it's not complete. The first Dune is not a standalone experience, sadly. The Dune storyline is one of the best of all time, honestly. The character arc of Paul Atreides, and then all the characters that interact with him. My God, I'm coughing. Brilliant story. But that also that's a great movie, man. The new Dune, holy shit. I like it. Yeah, the guitar guy with the flamethrower attached to it in Mad Max. Awesome. What time is it? Holy shit. 10:20. Yeah, I was gonna bring this up too. Do you guys know about the Avatar video game? Let's see. I wonder if I could. No, not the 2009 Avatar video game. Avatar 2, Avatar. Hold on. Here it is. Wait a minute. Why does this have a different title? Oh, it's a mobile game. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. I hate when mobile games have a cinematic trailer that looks amazing. I fucking hate that. I hate it. It's like, oh, what next gen game is this? And it turns out it's a mobile game. Fuck that. This is what I was talking about. This is Ubisoft, by the way. First of all, this looks very cool. Very good graphics. Oh. Okay. Now, from what I understand, before I get copyright strike, I'm going to pause it for a second. Hold on. That's the Techno Viking. We were looking at him earlier. We were calling him a Chad, a Giga Chad. He's the proto Giga Chad. I'm looking up this game so I can give information about it. It's an upcoming, so Avatar Pandora, Frontiers of Pandora. It's an upcoming open world action adventure game based on James Cameron's Avatar series. The game is being developed by Massive Entertainment and will be published by Ubisoft. All right, so Massive Entertainment, they're known for Tom Clancy's The Division series, which I'm not a huge fan of. But that's all they've really done. I don't know. This might be good. I hope that doesn't mean it's going to be fucking like microtransaction-y. From what I understand, hold on a second. There's not a lot of information about it. I hope. Let's play it. Let's play the trailer. Very pretty. Wow. Uh-oh. Humans. And by the way, I'm pretty sure this is a first-person game. Kind of like Ark. I don't know if it's survival. If it's a survival game or if it's a more of a RPG. I don't know. If you guys were in charge of the Avatar video game, what would you prefer? I'm kind of leaning towards like a survival experience with maybe a solo. Let me think about this. I don't know. It's tricky because Ark Survival Evolved is basically Avatar. You know what I mean? And I love that game. And I don't want to be that guy who's like, I don't want this game to just be Ark, even though I would play it. But I know Ark 2 is coming out. It's kind of like, well, maybe they should do something a little bit different. Wow. Well, I don't know. There's not much information about it. Gonna split. Great stream. Thanks, Steven. I'm gonna get off too soon. Thanks. I appreciate what's his name? Blaine for being my moderator. Guys, if you want to be a mod, let me know in my streams. I don't know who, like if you're here often, I can't, I need maybe another mod or somebody who would be here often or frequently or maybe a couple people whoever wants to be a mod, just let me know. And that all that means is just deleting bots from the fucking comments, which I think I can fix. I know I can fix that with some kind of thing that something behind the scenes, but we're just deleting dumb people that come in here and spam sexist and racist and transphobic and misogynistic comments. I'm kidding. Hey, thanks, Steven. Bring on the misogyny, I say. Bring on the Bring on the Giga Chads. Oh, you would, anime guy? Okay. I'll make you a mod. Oh, I almost put you in timeout. Whoops. No, I made you a mod. Well, yeah, I actually did a, oh man, I think on my channel, maybe I did a breakdown of Shadow of the Colossus or something on my, because we were watching that earlier, and I wanted to point you guys towards a video that I did. Oh, this is, no, okay. So I did, it's down here. I did a review of a game called The Last Campfire. I did a game review, and I had a lot of fun with it. It took me 14 hours. I would appreciate if you guys like video games, go check it out, and let me know what you think if you like the review. Because I was asking this last time on stream, like maybe I'll do more content like this. It's very hard to do, and if I could make a full-time gig from it, I totally would do it. You know what I mean? But like this only got 734 views for 14 hours of content of work. But I think it's really good. I think it's a good review. But anyway, game, and if you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. I also talk about Eco and Shadow of the Colossus in this review because it's this game also kind of has that. There's no story. There's no like. It's a very big. It's a mysterious game. It's called The Last Campfire. Track. And it's cool. It's a really cool game. It's also on the mobile if you like that stuff. But I played it on the PC. It's cute. It's a puzzle game. Touchscreen. What were you saying? Shadow of the Colossus is one of the games that either people really don't get or don't. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to see this movie again. I'm going to see this movie again in theaters. For sure. Because I was trying to say this earlier, I was trying to describe this, but I don't even know what I watched. I don't remember all of the shit that I watched because there's so much happening. So I want to go back. I want to sit down and forget about the story. I want to forget about getting really super connected to these characters. And they do a decent job of connecting you to the characters. I'm not going to lie. But I kind of want to forget about it. I just want to like experience like the world of Pandora, and like I want to try to figure out how he might have done some of this stuff. And we never even watched this thing that I was trying to show you earlier, which is, wait, I'll just pull this up quick. Here it is.
Depths of the ocean. Cameron decided to film his
Oopsie daisy. Whoops, what is going on?
Actors in a 900,000
like, this is James Cameron.
Gallon pool for any scene taking place underwater.
I'm pretty sure this is when he was doing
underwater movements on strings
Wait, hold on.
unconvincing results.
Okay, so this was Avatar.
In the past. This attention to detail could partially be attributed to the director's previous work involving various movies which featured underwater scenes, and as it turns out, quite a few of the challenges found in the production of Avatar 2 needed to be overcome in shoots in his earlier films.
Greatest underwater adventure.
So this is a cool video. It's called Cameron's Crazy Underwater Tech for Avatar 2. But it just kind of goes through his whole career, right? Abyss, Terminator, I think. Sanctum, which is this 3D experience that he did.
Apparent.
This movie would
And it's all
also
about
make
James.
use of
It's all about James Cameron's technological evolution, right?
the Fusion camera system, which was developed by James Cameron and Vince Pace, which has been used for the filming of the original Avatar.
You know, it's still now still a challenging new aspect of filmmaking. And we felt that we needed to shoot this movie in 3D because cave environments are claustrophobic, and 3D conveys that sense of closeness and entrapment in a way that 2D just doesn't.
Sure. Regarding the motion,
So like, dude, there's so much. I'm waiting on a behind the scenes kind of maybe DVD director's commentary or something about all this shit, because
capture quite a few scenes
it's
will
wild.
be recorded in the same way they were for the first movie. The cast acting out their roles in an empty hall, outfitted with a bunch of mocap cameras mounted on the ceiling and walls, and a lot of camera operators.
Well, what they do is they'll take stuff like this, and then like they just showed you here with this like this like CG, this like horribly rendered CGI
with a bunch of mocap cameras.
Hold on, there it is. This like creature, and they'll give this footage. I've done a little bit of research on how this works. They will give this to Weta Digital, right? Now, Weta Digital is the Weta Studio. They're fucking like, wait, let me pull up. All right, Weta Digital. If you don't know Weta Digital at this point, you know Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, right? That's Weta Digital. Also, I think he found. Oh, so it does say he founded it in 19. Fucking what the fuck, Wikipedia? I'm not gonna give you $2 after you've been caught editing like fake news on your fucking platform. The company is named after New Zealand Weta, one of the world's largest insects. Anyway, this is the Peter Jackson company, right? Visual effects company. King Kong, Avatar, Return of the King, The Jungle Book, right? The new one, the one with Idris Elba, that one. Avatar, Planet of the Apes, right? Probably this. I actually I asked this question on a stream, and I forgot to stick around for the super chats, but I was going to ask the panel. It was a Friday Night Tights, and I was going to ask them about what they think has better motion capture, and I'm curious what you guys think. Avatar or Planet of the Apes trilogy? Whoops, fuck, I always forget to do that. All right, now what I'm talking about is like look at this. Once again, make sure it's on 1080p. I don't know if this is streaming in 1080p, but whatever. Like this is Andy Serkis, but it's like an actual real ape. Like if you play this on the 4K TV, holy shit, this is the best motion capture I think I've ever seen in my life, except for maybe Avatar. And like, my God, I think part of the reason why this is so good is because of the hair and the fur and the realism. Like it blends so together with the trees and like the live action, like the actual environment so well. and Andy Serkis is just absolutely amazing in this. And this opening sequence to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is so fucking awesome. Like, hold on. Oh, so this goes into a big battle sequence. But like, I fucking love these movies so much. I love them. I love them. I've seen this movie in a very similar way to Avatar. Does a very, very good job of immersing you into the culture of the apes, right? And the culture of the Na'vi in Avatar is like just super extremely deep. Like it's basically the whole movie. They don't even focus on humans much. In a similar way, this movie does a great job of ignoring a lot of the human bullshit and developing this community of apes and their intelligence, their hierarchy of power, right? And there's a very, very Shakespearean element to this kind of dramatic tension between Koba, Caesar, his son, some of the other characters, and it's very, very compelling. I think this movie is underrated, man. This is one of my favorite modern blockbuster movies of all, and I'm talking about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I think it's better than both Rise and War of the Planet of the Apes. Like, if you just go watch it again, if you don't remember it being that good, I'm telling you right now, it's a very good movie. It looks like they rendered the CGI at higher than 2K resolution. I'm not sure what that is. Oh yeah. Well, Weta is now the ILM, Industrial Light and Magic. Are they the same studio? Can't remember. I think Weta is still Weta. I think ILM was absorbed or something. I just can't remember. What will the CGI look like in 5 to 10 years? I don't know, man. I disagree with this statement. I can't pull any of these comments up, but Snafu said most CG looks awful within 2 years. I totally disagree with that. I think Planet of the Apes looks amazing, even though it came out in 2014. I think Jurassic Park CGI looks fucking amazing. The original. Like, does anybody actually know that was a lot of CGI in the original Jurassic Park movie? There was definitely practical effects, but Spielberg invented, essentially he did, but his studio's team was going to do puppetry the entire movie, and they found this software. They started developing this software, and I think he pushed the movie back a year or two, and basically figured out a way to make realistic looking CGI. I don't know. You are right though, like the more advanced we get, the better the CGI gets. That's true. But there's a difference between like Jurassic Park and another what's another 90s movie that has horrible CGI? Like uh I don't fucking know. Like what am I thinking? I can't think of any right now. But you know what I mean? If the CGI looks dated quickly, it's because they are rendering it at less than 4K resolution. To render things at 4K, 8K, 16K for master files takes over a lot of time. Yeah, there's a lot of that's well, 4K resolution doesn't inherently make a CGI action sequence like more realistic. I don't. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like Avatar 1 was rendered at a much lower resolution than Avatar 2. if that makes sense. I think we're on this. I think we're on the same page. Yeah, The Matrix had really bad CGI. Jurassic Park unintentionally killed practical effects in Hollywood. Well, Steven Spielberg has a very he has a talent for killing or starting trends, right? He started the whole fucking blockbuster trend with Jaws in 1970. Was it 79 or 78? 77? '75. You know.
Do it.
This is, you know, this movie is like the first fucking blockbuster movie, really. Kind of. But he started this big trend in the late 70s and, like, you know, the Star Wars, Indiana Jones. That was Steven Spielberg. You know what I mean? So he kind of started that whole trend of the blockbuster. I guess maybe you could say he killed the practical effects trend. I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I love Spielberg. I don't know. I will never not like Steven. I almost called him Jewish Spielberg. I literally was about to say that. I like Steven Spielberg. Not because he's Jewish. I just like him. The Spielberg Lucas did start the blockbuster trends. Yeah. George Lucas. You know, even he, you know, he also kind of started this modern trend of like very popular famous actors playing like real people in biopic or biopic, like Oscar bait. Now, you know, I'm talking about Schindler's List. Really, is like something that, like, you know, the power that movie has, and what it did to the industry in terms of like respecting powerful acting performance and like really serious subject matters. They kind of just now, you know, now every Tom Hanks movie is like, you know, Oscar bait. Like everything he's always playing. Tom Hanks is always playing a real person. Look at this. Okay, look at this. This is actually hilarious. Hold on. Hold on. Pulling up Tom Hanks's IMDb. Where's the acting? What the fuck is this? IMDb has the worst UI of any website. The fuck is this? What is this? There's a video playing. There's buttons. Wait, look at this, guys. There's buttons to click. Why would I click on photos? What are 99 videos? What the fuck does that even mean? There's ads all over the place. What is this? An article? I just want his fucking filmography. And it's not even giving me previous. Okay, so I had to minimize this button. Now I have to click on this button that pops down a thing. Wow. Fuck. Okay, sorry. I lost my mind a little bit. Pinocchio. Okay, what I was trying to say is he's always playing like real people, right? Captain Kraus, Greyhound, I think is a real person. Then you got The Post, where he played Ben Bradley based off the real Washington Post story, right? Then we have Sully, right? Where he played that airplane pilot. Then you got A Bridge of Spies, which I think he plays a real person, A Bridge of Spies. Then you got Saving Mr. Wait, is Mr. Banks a real person? Maybe not. Captain Phillips, right? You know, it's like It's so, and every time he plays Charlie Wilson's War, here's another one. Every time a Tom, Hanks movie comes out, he's always nominated for an Oscar. It's just a very boring. I'm tired of these boring Hollywood movies about real people with Tom Hanks in them. I'm just tired of it. Yeah. I'm sorry, chat. I just went on a little. I don't even know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Uh, what's your ad blocker, brother? I don't fucking know. Um, this is not really the computer that I use. Let's see here. Well, what? Walt Disney. Yeah, Walt Disney. Yeah, that's right. Walt Disney and Saving Mr. Banks. Anyway, you get the point, right? Um, Spielberg. I like Spielberg. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna do it one of these days. I'm doing a stream solely focusing on, and we're gonna talk about directors. I'm gonna do a director's tier list. I'll pull it up quick, actually. It's kind of cool. Um, I'm not gonna do it now because I'm probably gonna get off in a second. But oops, that's not what I want. I'm a big fan of like movie directors and like watching films and like absorbing in films from the perspective of like the author behind the movie and like kind of noticing patterns and things like that. Probably because I kind of really, that's how I've always looked at movies. Like, there's like the auteur theory, which is about, a theory of film criticism where you watch a film from the perspective of the artist, right? Then there's like the postmodernist theory, which is like, oh, the artist doesn't fucking matter and the movie's about whatever you want it to be, which is what the people fucking use nowadays to justify their trans agenda in the Matrix fucking conspiracy theory. No. I I like watching, right, James Cameron movies and kind of seeing the similarities between all his films and like, no, something, you just know a James Cameron movie when you see it. You can tell. Well, there's a lot of these people, right? For example, Mel Gibson, which I'm blocking. You could tell a Mel Gibson movie when you see it. I mean, he Braveheart. Well, he hasn't done too many, but like he has this very epic style. Actually, Mel Gibson's Martin Scorsese is a better example. But Mel Gibson, Braveheart, Passion of the Christ, Hacksaw Ridge. He's a very Hollywood director, very Hollywood. Like Ridley Scott is another one. Michael Haneke, very very bizarre fucking Austrian director. I'm gonna go through all of these one day, do my tier list. We're gonna talk about their movies. I think it'll be fun. Here's Akira Kurosawa. Here's, a lot of these guys I haven't really seen too much from. Here's Park Chan-wook, Old Boy, director. It's gonna be fun. Here's Andrei Tarkovsky, killed himself. Rest in peace, Russian director. But anyway, this is gonna be fun. I just wanted to point that out. It's probably gonna be next year, which is like into a week. David Lynch, Dune. Yes, you know what I mean. Like David Lynch has a very specific style. Francis Ford Coppola has a specific style. Orson Welles has a specific style. Hayao Miyazaki. I don't like postmodernist art theory of film, and like I like the auteur theory. I like the artist. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm gonna get off because I'm gonna stream again tomorrow on Flaccid Phoenix's channel. You guys can stop by for that. I'll tweet it out. And I'm gonna go get a drink, and I'm gonna go play some Warzone, and I'm probably gonna play. What am I gonna do? Watch some JoJo's. I'm gonna play Warzone, play a little Pokemon, try to catch the shiny. I'm gonna probably, let's see. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. Good holidays. Thanks for watching, everybody. One more Avatar stream tomorrow night, like I said, on a panel, so there will be differing opinions. That might be fun to watch. Sub to Flaccid Phoenix ahead of time for that one. He's in the chat. And then Thursday I might try to have like Camelot come on my stream and we can talk about, because I'm seeing it again. So after that, then we'll talk about it one more time, and then you'll hate me for talking about it too much. Right? Also, I might be doing a collaboration with another VTuber. What do you think about that? Yeah, I don't want to hype it up too much. And it's probably not who you're thinking. But yeah, that might be, I think we're going to do that. I think I'm trying to set something up with that. And thank you, Flaccid. Thank you, Phoenix. I'll call you Phoenix. I don't like the word flaccid. Pippa? Oh, dude, I would collaborate. I imagine if me and Pippa were in a stream screaming at each other. Fuck, how fucking hilarious would that be? Can somebody make that happen? Can someone make that happen? I'll figure it out. Is it a whale? I don't know. Battle of the VTube. She would destroy me? Yeah, she would. She'd be like, stop! No, I think it'd be funny. I would have to drink. I would have to be a little bit, not inebriated, but I would be nervous if I didn't drink something before the stream. Pippa Pipkin, guys. She's funny. If you don't know her, she's just a VTuber. She's a bunny rabbit. I can pull her up quick. Fuck Tom Hanks. I actually like Tom Hanks a lot as an actor. He's really good in Big. He's great in Castaway, great in Forrest Gump. People who hate on him that's fine, but he's a good actor. What the fuck was that? What was I gonna do? Pippa Pipkin. Pippa Pipkin. Maybe she's streaming now. I don't know. Nope. She's a bunny rabbit. I don't know. She knows some people in the community. I think I'm friends with some people that she's friends with. Anyway, I ain't trying to be that guy. I don't know. Just click on random video. Look at her!
Swap the gender plates. I can't.
Look at her! Look at Pepe up here. Okay? Now, Pepe, I've been watching some interesting Pepe lore videos recently. I didn't even know they existed. But Pepe has some really fucking good animation lore videos on Twitter and stuff. But anyway, look at Pepka.
I can't swap the sign. I can't swap the gender plates.
What she's doing, trying to swap gender plates of a bathroom or something?
I can't drag him?
Is she playing a bathroom simulator or something? I don't know. She's out of my league. Well, I am blue. I'm supposed to stick to my own kind. No, I won't be blue for. This is just an avatar. Paint job. Pippa lore? No, I was talking about Pepe. Pepe the frog. She's funny though.
Vision. In between all the numbers, you can also apply a single ... when needed. You can also reorder and swap the digits by dragging them around. Already Friday, Taco Bell, in your $3. Take a break and blow your nose goop out now, because then my nose is just gonna...
Okay. I don't know. I don't know if she's... I've seen enough of Pippa where she just makes me laugh. Sometimes I don't know what she's talking about. But anyway. Put the video where she sings "Don't Be Rama Rama." What? Put the video where she sang the "Don't Be Rama Rama." Am I allowed to play that? Am I allowed to play that? Oh, what the fuck? Hi, Juan. Thank you for subscribing. What is this?
Lyrics. That's the most relatable song, part of the song. Show me sister, show me brother.
So she does karaoke streams, I guess? I don't know. It's probably the wrong video. That might be it. What the fuck?
I must watch it. I have intense love igniting thought.
I don't know. I'm not going to play this anymore. I don't even know what it is. But I thank you for the recommendation. I am so confused. She's just funny. I don't know any other V2. I know one, like the person I was talking about was not Pippa. It was I don't know. I won't spoil it. But they're new. They're like a newer person, but a newer VTuber. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the agency. I wish I had a better avatar. I think mine's fine. It's funny sometimes. Like shitty, like bad VTuber rigs are actually kind of funny in a way. Like my mouth sucks ass, but it's just kind of like dumb. Like it's like goofy and stupid, but it's charming a little bit. I don't know. I'm gonna fix my mouth, my facial tracking at some point. Because right now, it tracks. Look at this. It tracks my mouth. So, you know what I mean? But sometimes when I'm rambling on a rant, and I don't know what I'm doing with my hand because I'm talking, like I'm thinking about something. So I'm like, and then I start shaking my head, and like I don't even know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I have ADD. Or AD, I don't even know. ADHD or something. Don't clip that, please. I just sounded like a retard. Anyway, what's on your guys' plan for the week? Now everybody's tuning out. 11 viewers left. I lost. I lost everybody. We're gone because I'm done. No, okay. Calm down. The part of the problem is that I don't know how to end streams. That's part of my problem. I guess I can just say bye and then click end stream, but I feel like if I always do that, I always leave flashcasts too early and then I go, oh fuck, I wanted to say that one thing. You know what I mean? All right, Brandon, we're all gonna leave. We're all done. Hi, one-eyed crow. I got to put some short videos out. Shows editing. Oh well, thanks for sticking around for a while, Brandon and Blaine. Blaine, you can just bounce whenever, dude. I told you to be my mod, but I didn't. I don't want to chain you up. Just end it how Flash does and say bye. Okay. Hi, troll. Bye, troll. Anyway, bye, guys. Tune in tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow to Flaccid Phoenix's channel, and then I'll be streaming again on Wednesday, I think. Anyway.